Good morning. Merry Christmas on this, the second day of Christmas. Drinking a little spiced butter morning. Almost tastes like a Highlander grog, so it's pretty good coffee. Well, I hope your second day of Christmas is going well. My birds are anxiously anticipating some new feed at the feeder. I've got this beautiful cone that I was given covered with seed that I'm going to put out this morning, and they will just go nuts, I'm sure. It's been a good morning. I got up this morning and snow blowed the driveway and slip slided away through the ice and snow, kind of a weird mix we had out there today. But today, on this, the second day of Christmas, if we are following the 12 Days of Christmas song, it's two turtle doves. So get your turtle doves out there. I think this song was put together by a birder. A lot of birds in this song. And speaking of birds, I went out yesterday and I didn't see two turtle doves. I saw two snowy owls. I like that. Two snowy owls. Yes, we saw the two snowy owls at the Minneapolis airport. They hang around out there because there's lots of big, wide open space. I understand that's kind of the space they like to hang out in. So that was kind of fun. Right before we took my son Isaiah to the airport, we stopped out at the viewing area, and sure enough, there they were, two snowy owls. So the two snowy owls, the two turtle doves of the Christmas song, the legend of Christianity pegs them as the Old and New Testament. Two distinctly different stories, and yet exactly the same. In fact, they're connected. It's a sequel. It's part one and part two. But the strange part is there's really no change in the cast of characters through it, because God is still impacting the lives of his people through the whole thing. It's those who follow him, those who don't, and his blessings upon them. And yeah, it's a great story. Yesterday, we looked at Simeon and the role of Simeon in the Christmas story. We said he's one of the lesser known characters of the Christmas story, in that he doesn't often get wrapped into Christmas because he's in those days following. And yet it was the perfect fulfillment of the law. For the firstborn to come out of the womb, male, would be the one who would be dedicated to the Lord. And so, in keeping with the law of the Old Testament, the Mosaic law, they bring forth this child, Jesus. And here is Simeon waiting in the temple for all these years for this child to come. And when he comes, he sees not just the child that is, but he sees way beyond. He sees the whole scope and story of this child's life. You know, we often, this time of year, we just kind of stop at the cradle, and maybe we even go so far as the Magi coming at age 2. By the way, in case I haven't mentioned that today, I like to get that in every day of my life. We may end the Christmas story there, but of course, this story of this baby Jesus keeps going and going and going. I saw a fun Skit Guys video the other day, in which the two Skit Guys, some of you may know the Skit Guys, they're hilarious Christians who share their faith and wisdom through dramatic skits. And they were decorating a tree, and Tommy said to Eddie, he said, I wonder whatever happened to that baby in the manger. And Eddie looked at him, or Tommy looked at him and said, well, he grew to be a man. I mean, he, Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, those are the stories of Jesus. That was the same Jesus, he said, as if he hadn't put those two together. And then later he says, oh, that was such a nice guy, all the healing and everything he did. And oh, I wonder whatever happened to him. Well, he's the one who went to the cross, Eddie said, or Tommy said. See, I'm getting them all confused. Of course, you're still tracking with me. He's the one who went to the cross and died and rose and is coming back again. And Eddie went, mind blown. Didn't know that there was a connection. See, sometimes we so separate these stories that we don't remember that this is the same God who walked with Adam and Eve in the garden. He has fellowship with them. And then that fellowship was broken through their sin. And then he came as the form of a baby in the manger and restored that fellowship with them. God with us. You get that? We're back to the garden again. God's with us, walking with us here on this earth. And then, of course, that Jesus dies on the cross, rises for our forgiveness, and ascends into heaven, where he's planning his return. And just like the prophets and saints of the Old Testament waited and longed and prayed and waited for his return, so do we. And we are still in those days of waiting and longing and waiting for his return. And I'm excited for his return. I hope it comes before I finish this cup of spiced buttered rum coffee. Although it's not a bad cup of coffee, maybe a little heavy on the spiced side of the butter rum, but we'll make do. For those of you in the know, it's black, no cream in this coffee this morning, so that's a good sign. Well, I pray that today you will remember the whole story, that you will remember not just his coming as a babe, not just the promises of Isaiah and the prophets who foretold of his coming, not just of his miracles and his healings and teachings, not just of the resurrected Christ, but let's put it all together on this two turtle dove, hot buttered rum, two snowy owl day. Let's remember both the Old and the New Testament, the whole story of Christ. One of my favorite quotes of Luther is, if you want to know more about Jesus, you have to read the Old Testament, because there's more about Jesus in the Testament than you will ever read in the New Testament. Luther was right on that one. So get to know the baby. Dig into the OT today. Well, you have a great morning, and we will see you back here sometime tomorrow on the third day of Christmas as we try yet another one of our 12 days of Christmas coffees. Be blessed, my friend, and we'll see you later.